Welcome back to Unemployment News, where we talk about video games and also end up inevitably talking about whatever the hell Trump is getting up to. You might notice that the runtime of this video is very short, and this is because the full video is available on my second channel with a helpful timestamp. Unemployment News goes against the grain of the content that I want this channel to be about, but I still want to make the series because it helps me and hopefully you stay informed. So, in an attempt to organize my content, I'll be shifting this series to that channel. If you're already on that channel, good. If you're not, that's fine. I don't really care, but I can't say the same for Larry. President Trump is our commander-in-chief, but he's also a businessman. Some may call the blatant conning of the very same voters who put him in office morally reprehensible. I call it business. Anyways, Trump is showing us he's still got it with his next big pitch, T1 Trump phone. I do want to preface this by saying that Trump is old as shit. He most likely told one of his managers or something to make a Trump phone, and this is what they cooked up, and since he doesn't really know anything about tech, he was just like, yeah, ship it. Never attribute to malice what can be explained by ignorance. Surely every single Trump phone is topped off with only the top-of-the-line internals, ensuring consistency while running very intensive apps like Twitter and Truth Social maybe? Nah. Okay, to be completely fair, the T1's internals aren't all that terrible, and by not terrible, I'm saying that in the same way as somebody would describe a fender bender as not that bad. 12 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. We've got 15 million cameras on the back, just like with iPhones, because yeah, we're still doing that in 2025. That reminds me of that one time Samsung one-upped Apple with a new camera that used IR, but they had to recall it because it made certain types of plastic and cloth see-through. You can probably put together why that might be a problem. That was pretty much all it was good for too. It was calibrated specifically for that purpose. Only the Japanese, I swear. Anyways, back to the T1 Trump phone, and it's time to play Family Feud. Yo, what's good? I'm your host, Mr. Horse, and your question is, how much does a mid-level Android cost after being given the premium President Trump paint job? Adrian, it can't cost any more than $350, maybe $400, right? I mean, you never know. Surely Mr. President would never try to rip us off, right? Survey says, you've gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. I'd be willing to give this phone the benefit of the doubt if it was pretty high-end or an original design in any way, but this phone is basically just a pre-existing Android model. Specifically, it bears a striking resemblance to the BUNGIE Note 58, which is, ironically, a Chinese phone, unless the covering is made of solid gold, which is a terrible idea for a phone case because gold is heavy and relatively soft. Then this phone should cost like $450 tops. Now, they're also starting a new cell service plan, but they aren't really because it's basically just T-Mobile. Like, if you have a Cricket wireless phone, it's using the same cell towers as AT&T. It's the same thing. So anyone who wants to get the authentic Trump phone experience, just buy this phone off of Amazon. It's cheaper, and it supports the glorious CCP. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that we will all be beating anyone who buys this phone to death. The white women with the colored hair will be beating you to death for owning something with the word Trump on it, and nerds like me will be beating you for purchasing something that's a blatant waste of money. Buying overpriced tech is only cool if it says Nintendo on it. Resident Evil 9 was one of the many games shown off at the Summer Games Fest. Fuck Jeff Keighley, all my niggas hate Jeff Keighley, but aside from that, Resident Evil 9 was shown to have the dreaded female protagonist, and upon seeing that, the Twitter chuds sprang into action, calling her unattractive and talking about how this game was yet another woke DEI disaster that's sure to flop. Except, no they didn't. In fact, everything I just said to you was a lie designed to make you angry, specifically by this man, Reforged Gaming on Twitter. As of right now, even Grums, notorious anti-woke Twitter user, and someone who still hangs on to the fact that he worked at Blizzard, despite not putting out a decent game for going on multiple decades at this point, even he said, no the fuck we didn't. What are you talking about? Pretty much every person who's critical of quote-unquote woke games, including myself, saw nothing wrong with this trailer, like, at all. There's no history being rewritten, no studios excluding white people from working on it, no moral lecturing or politics of any kind, for that matter. It's just a horror game. There is no woke in this trailer. Is the woke in the room with us right now? And if there was, these people would be the first to call it out, but nah. Nothing. A woman existing is not woke, and the fact that he thinks that this is what people perceive to be woke shows that he really doesn't understand it at all. But wait, because Reforged said he actually does have evidence of people calling it woke. Look here. Asmongold in an Asmongold stream, he said that well, look at his chat. But is Asmongold himself saying that? No, because unlike some other streamers, Asmongold isn't whipped to regurgitate whatever his chat wants him to say. He says what he thinks, for better or for worse. Now, if only he could start cleaning his room. On top of that, if you've ever watched an Asmongold stream, you know that it's sort of an inside joke for his chat to say woke DEI whenever a woman shows up in a game. And as the final cherry on top, Twitch chat has always been retarded. You're really telling me that one of the first pieces of evidence you have for incels allegedly labeling this game as woke is fucking Twitch chat? Laugh at this nigga. In other news, Sony just delayed Marathon, which I can't tell whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. To keep it 95% with you, because I do be lying sometimes, Marathon looked bad to me from the start. Yeah, I hated Marathon before it was cool. First, it's an extraction shooter, which is fine, but extraction shooters are sort of like the fentanyl of the FPS industry. Not that hard to make, and the people playing them feel awesome until they lose all of their shit to a dude spin botting while cruising at 35,000 feet. On top of that, I feel like Bungie has been getting glazed like a damn cinnamon roll for this art style. Number one, they stole it. Number two, even if they didn't steal it, it still sucks. This game's art style is basically Overwatch, but with everything simplified, rounded off, or angled in a sickeningly corporate way. The art style looks like the people who make logos simpler were hired to make a game. No depth, oversaturation, way too many neon colors. These damn colors are too much for my 20-year-old eyes to handle. I'm basically a fossil over here. These are just my opinions though. I know a lot of people actually do like the art style, which makes it suck that it was stolen. This stream of the devs being forced to read plagiarism will make you God while not being able to say anything about it is priceless. I think the biggest red flag about this game would be it costing $40. $40 was steep for a game like Overwatch, but it was at least some sort of unspoken handshake. You give us $40, we give you content. None of this battle pass shit. You can just buy some loot boxes if you want, but you can pretty much get every skin in the game just by playing. But now we cannot be bullshitted. We know you will have a cash shop. We know you will have a battle pass. So we're paying $40 as an access fee. You're saying that the base gameplay loop of scrounging around for guns and loot to bring it back or die trying, that alone is worth $40? No, I don't buy it. But I do hope that they maybe, release it as free to play, because as I said before, some people, not me, but some people seem to like it. At least if this game fails, it won't be a Concordian level flop, so they're not going to go bankrupt. I mean, Bungie will. They're getting Destiny 2 snatched from them by Sony, but the shareholders will be fine. Think of the shareholders, guys. You chuds told me that nothing ever happens. What the fuck, guys? Okay, so what's going on with Iran and Israel in a nutshell? Israel has once again been yapping about Iran having nukes for a while now, which they most likely don't, but even if they did, it doesn't really mean anything because Israel does too. Recently, they've bombed several parts of Iran where they keep their missiles, along with deliberate strikes at individuals who have control over Iranian defenses. This is basically the equivalent of holding somebody at gunpoint and then shooting them because you thought they had a gun, despite them saying multiple times that they didn't. So Iran locked the fuck in and bombed Tel Aviv, which Israel complained about. Everyone will feel it? Everyone? Even me? Why does this sound vaguely like a rape threat? The Iranian terror regime targets civilian homes. Well, isn't this the pot calling the kettle black? Both sides here are guilty of the most evil things conceivable. Murder? Check. Child rape? Yup. Bombing innocent civilians? Come on, man, everyone does that. I don't care who wins in this conflict. I just need everyone who's currently in power to lose. Trump most likely made Netanyahu have a fucking heart attack when he said that America would not get involved with this war, which seems to be a pretty solid plan if it weren't for the fact that Mr. Trump has now seemed to, still be defending Israel, most likely because he doesn't want to get JFK'd. This is bad. Not because I hate Israel or anything. I don't nearly know enough about Iran or Israel to really care. And if I learned, enough to care, I would probably care less. But in case you don't know, Israel is allied in question marks with us, while Iran is allied with Hamas, Hezbollah, Yemen, China, and Russia. And while I'm not too terrified of any of the former countries, China and Russia have been butting heads with the US for a long while. So if we get involved, they have to get involved. And at some point, we'll have another 9/11, another Pearl Harbor, and World War III has started. Boom. Except we have nukes this time. And if one of those gets fired, all of them get fired. So unless you want our planet to look like a marble, you should agree that getting involved is a terrible idea. Like I said, I don't care who wins. I just need everyone who's in power over there to lose. And yeah, that'll do it for this week. This one was a little bit earlier than normal because I just wanted to, get it out of the way because I'm working on the Zenless video. Yeah, that's it. Have a great day. and a good night.
Come right now, come inside my mouth, ayy. Take off my blouse, ayy. Fuck me on the couch, ayy. Kiss on my neck got me wet. That big old dick on the bed. His dick is on like a leg.